The 1979 D-era Washington quarter dollar may seem like just another coin from your pocket change, but let me tell you something that will make you check every quarter you own right now. Hidden among the millions of quarters minted that year in Denver are a few ultra-rare errors and varieties that can turn a 25-cent piece into a jackpot worth thousands, even tens thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, yet when collectors discover its true identity, its value skyrockets from a quarter to $15,000, or even a mind-blowing, and why it has become one of the most fascinating treasures in modern American coinage. To understand why this coin has such potential, let's step back for a moment and talk about the Washington quarter itself. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the design by sculptor John Flanagan quickly became a staple in American currency. By 1979, the quarter had already seen decades of circulation, with the familiar portrait of Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. But in 1979, the Denver Mint struck over 489 million quarters. With such a massive mintage, you might assume every single one of those coins is common and practically worthless. And in most cases, you'd be right. The majority of 1979 D Washington quarters are worth only face value in circulated condition. But here's the twist: some of these coins escape the mint with unusual mistakes, striking anomalies, and die varieties that collectors will pay jaw-dropping amounts of money for. Think about it. The U.S. Mint operates with precision machinery designed to churn out coins at incredible speed, but no system is perfect. When a die gets worn, misaligned, doubled, or damaged, the coins it strikes can end up with features that don't belong. And when that happens, ordinary change transforms into something extraordinary. That's exactly the case with the rare 1979 D Washington quarter dollar. One of the most desirable errors on this coin involves double dies. A double die happens when the hub that imprints the design onto the die shifts slightly during the creation process. This causes parts of the design, like Washington's motto or the word liberty, to appear doubled under magnification. Collectors go crazy for these types of errors because they are easy to spot and highly collectible. On the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar, certain double die obverses can command prices far beyond what most people expect. While a normal quarter might buy you a piece of candy, a double die could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even more depending on its condition and visibility. But that's not the only kind of valuable error out there. Some 1979 D Washington quarters were struck on the wrong blankets. Imagine a quarter-sized coin struck on a dime, or even a foreign coin blank. These rare mistakes often occur when leftover blanks from another denomination or country get mixed into the production line. When a Washington quarter design is stamped onto the wrong metal or wrong size, collectors will line up to pay incredible premiums. For example, a 1979 D quarter struck on a nickel planchette or experimental planchette can fetch thousands at auction. In some cases, sales have reached $8,000 to $15,000, and the rarest known examples have pushed into the unbelievable territory of $33,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single quarter selling for the price of a brand new car, all because of a rare minting error. Now, let's not forget about off-center strikes, another error that makes the 1979 D Washington quarter special. An off-center strike happens when the blank planchette is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process. Instead of producing a perfectly centered coin, part of the design is missing and the rest is shifted toward one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. A minor misalignment might fetch a modest premium, but if you find a 1979 D quarter that's 50% or more off-center, you're looking at serious money. Collectors love these quirky errors because they show the human side of minting, proof that even high-tech machines can produce imperfect beauty. Another error that skyrockets value is the clipped planchette. A clipped planchette occurs when the metal sheet from which coins are punched overlaps or shifts, resulting in blanks that have a crescent-shaped missing piece. A 1979 D Washington quarter with a dramatic clipped planchette can easily be worth several $100s, and when combined with other errors like doubling or off-centering, the value can soar into the thousands. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Not only are these coins rare in their error forms, but condition plays a massive role in determining value. A 1979 D Washington quarter dollar in average circulated condition might not turn any heads. But when one shows up in pristine mint state condition, especially graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, the value multiplies. Collectors crave coins with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of wear. A mint state 1979 D quarter with a rare error can easily cross the $10,000 mark. And when you add rarity, demand, and a perfect strike together, that's when you see those jaw-dropping prices of $33,000 at auction. Now picture this. You're going through your change, maybe looking at some old coins from a drawer or a jar that's been collecting dust for years. You pull out a 1979 D quarter, and at first, it just looks like another old coin. But then you look closer. Maybe you notice the word trust seems to have extra thickness, or maybe Washington's profile looks slightly doubled. Or perhaps the coin feels lighter or smaller because it was struck on the wrong planchette. Suddenly, what seemed like spare change could be your ticket to thousands of dollars. That's the magic of coin collecting and why stories of rare finds captivate so many people. The history of the Denver Mint also adds an interesting layer to this story. The D mint mark on the 1979 Washington quarter signifies it was struck in Denver, Colorado. Known for producing high-quality coins, the Denver Mint nonetheless experienced its share of mistakes in the late 1970s due to the enormous production numbers. With nearly 500 million quarters struck in 1979, it's no surprise that a handful slipped through with rare and valuable errors. For collectors today, the hunt for these anomalies is what makes the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar such an exciting pursuit. Auction records back this up. Time and again, rare error 1979 D Washington quarters have stunned bidders and blown past pre-sale estimates. One coin with an unusual planchette error sold for over $8,000, another with dramatic doubling reached nearly $15,000. And in the most shocking cases, unique examples tied to experimental striking or wrong plankets have reached the unbelievable figure of $33,000. That's not speculation, that's real money, paid by real collectors who understand the rarity and significance of these coins. So why do collectors pay so much for these coins? The answer lies in a mix of history, rarity, and demand. The Washington quarter is one of the most widely recognized U.S. coins, and nearly everyone has handled one at some point in their lives. When a coin so familiar turns out to be something extraordinary, it creates a buzz in the collecting world. Add in the thrill of finding a rare error in circulation, and you have a recipe for skyrocketing values. This is why the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar has become a legend in numismatic circles. Not because every coin is rare, but because a tiny fraction of them carry the kinds of errors and conditions that make collectors' hearts race. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, a clipped planchette, or a coin struck on the wrong blank altogether, the values attached to these anomalies prove that even modern coins can be worth life-changing sums of money. Imagine the thrill of walking into an auction house with a coin you pulled from your change, only to watch as bidders drive the price higher and higher. From $1,000 to $5,000, then past $10,000, and finally landing at an incredible $33,000. That's the dream many collectors chase, and with the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar, that dream is very much alive. So the next time you come across a 1979 D quarter, don't just toss it aside. Look closely, check the details. Is the lettering doubled? Is the strike off-center? Does the coin look clipped or oddly sized? Could it be one of those rare planchette errors worth a fortune? Because remember, in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is everything. And with the right knowledge, a simple quarter could change your life. The 1979 D Washington quarter dollar is more than just spare change. It's a reminder that treasure still circulates in plain sight. With values reaching $8,000, $15,000, and even $33,000, it stands as one of the most exciting modern coins in U.S. history. So grab a magnifying glass, check your quarters, and who knows, you just might be holding the next legendary discovery.